Hey everyone, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. I'm Jenny Olson-Silik and we've got a great show for you this week. We're going to kick it off by taking you to Saginaw Bay where Gabe Van Wormer was chasing after walleyes through the ice. You won't want to miss that story. Lots of fun out there that day. And Jimmy and Jordan have some other excitement in store for us this week too.
Well, that's right, Jenny. We do have a few more things on this week's show. And if you watch the show on a regular basis, just a few weeks back, you saw a three-part series on chronic wasting disease where we sat down with the DNR. Well, on this week's show, we're going to sit down with some folks and kind of show you the other side of the coin, some folks that are not too happy with some of the decisions that the state is making. You won't want to miss that. We're also going to sit down with a Michigan manufacturer who's making some products that might just help your time in the outdoors. Lots of good stuff on this week's show. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan, Michigan out of doors.
What a beautiful day in the woods.
Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream. It's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse, a sportsman's destination since 1988. Featuring varieties of homemade sausage, jerky, brats, and gourmet entrees. Holiday gift boxes can be assembled in-store or online. Details at countrysmokehouse.com. By AnglerQuest Pontoons, a mid-Michigan company building boats for fishermen by fishermen. AnglerQuest Pontoons are designed for comfort and functionality. On the web at anglerquestpontoons.com. By the Michigan Fly Fishing Club, presenting this year's 2019 Midwest Fly Fishing Expo. The expo is coming to Metro Detroit on March 9th and 10th at the Sports and Expo Center at Macomb Community College. For more information and details, MidwestFlyFishingExpo.com.
Soaking in the rich tradition of Michigan hunting for over 30 years, Vanguard is proud to sponsor our friends at Michigan Out of Doors TV.
I would rather have my guys safe than even have them catching fish. I'm constantly looking at the satellite images. I'm constantly on the weather. We follow out in a single file line. We keep distance between the snowmobiles. Like today we had some tag-alongs come out with us, and we do have cracks and shoves. And you gotta have cracks and shoves to have safe ice. That hydraulic pressure's gotta go somewhere. But we walk up to them, spud them open, see what's in there. If there's a bottom or not, we'll move to a different spot. On the west side last week, some of the guys have ramps, but we have prevailing west wind here. We usually don't get the open cracks, we get shoves. But I take safety pretty serious, probably the number one. I'd rather have everybody safe than even catch a fish. Saginaw Bay is extremely dangerous. Every day you don't know what you're in for. Every day the wind switches, that ice moves. Even if it just cracks it apart a little bit, when it goes back together, it doesn't fit like a puzzle piece. It'll rotate, it'll leave a hole out there. Very dangerous place to be on. You really got to use a lot of common sense and a lot of precautions. If it doesn't look right, it ain't right.
You know, when you talk to a lot of the old school guys that have been fishing out on Saginaw Bay, what they're going to tell you is bang the bottom. And basically what that's doing is that's what I did right there. I banged the bottom. Now I got this fish coming up. He's coming up. I want to keep working him up. The higher you get that fish, the better. So I'm going to keep working him up. Oh, he just stopped. Keep it right in front of him. Maybe get him to bite. You want to keep working that fish up in the water column. The further that fish comes up, the better chance you have of that fish actually biting. But when you bang the bottom, what you're doing is you're actually kicking the sediment up. And that's what these fish are keen on. You see that sediment kick up, they're going to come in and investigate. So now he's going back down, he's going down quick. And I'm going to follow him right down really quick. I'm being fairly aggressive here. I want to stay right on that fish. He's right back down on the bottom, and so I'm going to go back down to what they call pounding bottom. And I'm going to keep that right down there and see if I can't get him to come up. Now he went a long ways, but he didn't bite. But here he is coming up again. Sometimes what you'll find is if you just can't get him to bite, but I got him to bite just like that. Now that is really cool. That shows right there how I got that fish to bite, because he did not just come in and smack it. You had to make that fish work for it. But we were able to work him up. Let's see here. There we go. That is so cool. You know, one of the things about ice fishing for walleyes is you're going to find is some days anybody's a hero. You can go out on the ice, drill your hole, and you're going to catch those fish because they're going to come up really aggressively. But more days than not, you have to work those fish. And if you work those fish, just like I worked this one, you're going to get them to bite even when they're lethargic.
It's on this one. Same fish. He never went off the screen. This time I'm going to give him a little bit, I'm going to horse him a little bit to keep him on. Definitely spunky. You let me know when you see color. Oh, this is a good eater, but he is spunky. Nice. Took that lead head. Now that's how I like him. He was very aggressive. He came after this jig head, and I knew by the feel of it there wasn't even a minnow on it. He just ate that jig head. After he got off twice and went after the spoon, I jiggled that lead head, and he went right after it. No minnow.
Brandon runs a guide service on both hard water and soft. During the winter, it's long hours of running guys in and out on the shifting ice of Saginaw Bay. It's an unforgiving place and is quick to bite you if you take her for granted. But when done right, the fishing is as good as anywhere. Typical trips this year have seen limits of walleye with a few jumbo perch thrown in for good measure. Jake Romanek was set up a stone's throw away to spread out and try to cover a bit more water.
Feel like a good one?
It's got some shoulders to it.
Looked like a good mark on the screen there.
Ooh.
What do you got on there, Brandon?
It's a walleye, man. We're in the walleye grounds.
Staying down nice.
I'm gonna give her a little drag. I don't want her to snap at the last second. She's coming up to the hole. Oh, no, she's not.
Not going, huh? Oh, that's a good fish. Oh, there it is, Brandon. That's a nice fish. That is a beautiful fish.
See leader. Oh, hold on. She's not done yet.
Oh, come on, baby. Line your head up there. Ooh. Come on. Come on. There she goes. There she comes.
Nice.
Let's pull this thing out of there, Brandon. Nice fish, buddy.
Oh, she's mad.
That's what Saginaw Bay is all about right there. Got your dead stick?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, got the dead stick.
Down there.
Got it all. Bunch of professionals over here. Beautiful fish.
So you come up pretty good, or
It
what?
was suspended. He was suspended about 5 feet off the bottom.
I had one like that the other day come through that was just come up suspended like that. It's time to eat. It's not a nice fishing trip without some burgers. We got some pepper, got some Lowry's, got some cheese, got some burgers. Good to go.
I don't know why, but lunch on the ice tastes so much better. It could be the fact that we were catching walleye just as fast as we could get the bait down there. Brandon didn't even have time to finish his burger before another one came in.
I'm gonna double fist the hamburger and catch this fish. See, he's on there and he's pulling it. You can see, I'm gonna feed it a little bit to him, Gabe. See, he just dropped it. There, he's got it again. Set my hamburger down. I twisted my tip. Little guy. Oh, he's legal, I think. We got a 13-inch rule. We need to get a lot of them out of there because the majority of fish we catch right now are good eaters. There's a lot of big fish in our system, but these are the guys that are cleaning Saginaw right out of bait fish. And I know there's a lot of people don't like the 13-inch rule, but you got to look at them as like teenagers. You know, they just eat everything in the refrigerator. So we got to get rid of a lot of the juvenile fish to get the bait fish population to boom back out again. And actually, that's a perfect eater. That's probably a 15, 16-inch fish. That's what I like keeping, because I'm kind of fussy about my fish. I don't like that real thick meat, like it's in them great big old girls. I like potato chip size fillets where I can just keep popping them.
This year it seems like the midday bite has been better than ever, and today was no exception. Jake had continued to pick away at them all day long.
Oh, he's coming up quick. He's coming. That was a no-brainer. I didn't have to do much for that one. He just come flying up off the bottom, took a look at it, and about a second later, punk, there he was. Feels like a pretty good fish. Lined up there. Oh, there she comes. Here she comes. Come on. Get out of that hole. There we go. That's not a bad fish right there. Those are the ones you like too, because that fish just come rocketing up off the bottom. Gave it a little bit of a jig and boom, there he was. What a nice Saginaw Bay walleye.
There. Oh, he pinned it right out of the dirt. Came down and pinned it. You see how he flew down and... Let's see what we got here. Feels like a little better fish. Oh yeah, a little better than the... Uh-oh, I can't get his head in the hole here. Come on, buddy. That's a good fish. Looks like a 22, 23-inch fish. There. Come here, come here, come here. There we go. There's a better fish. This is about our average size fish. I mean, we've been picking up a little bit smaller fish today. But this is a 21-inch fish. It's a good eater. We get fish all the way up to 9.5 pounds, 10 pounds. You want to hear something cool though? That fish on the screen just came all the way up to your lure, and now the end of your rod is pulling down. You get him?
Nope.
At the end of the day, Brandon and Jake had handled well over a limit of fish apiece. Fish just kept coming through the hole and getting released back to swim again. I'd like to say it was an exceptional day of fishing, but this is what the bay has been like for most of the ice season. A world-class walleye destination in our own backyard.
Oh man, that is a nice fish.
Over the last month or so, we have had a ton of information on the show about chronic wasting disease, or CWD, most of which has come directly from the DNR. So for our next segment on this week's show, we wanted to show you the other side of that story by sitting down with a concerned landowner who doesn't agree with what the DNR plans to do in his area of Gratiot County.
A little over a week ago, I was able to attend a meeting in Gratiot County put on by the DNR. This meeting was in response to public concern over the potential use of sharpshooters on a local nature preserve. Before things got started, I was able to sit down with a concerned landowner and hear his thoughts on the issue.
Today we're here at the Gratiot Isabella RESD in Ithaca, Michigan, and we're at a meeting with the DNR with landowners from northwest Gratiot County. In November, there was a positive deer that was taken by a rifle hunter, and this was in Pine River Township, which is in northwest Gratiot. From there, the deer tested positive, and in December, it became public that the deer did test positive. There was never any announcements on what property it came from, anything like that, but through landowner communication, we eventually figured out where it came from, what property it was on, and we didn't really hear anything else about it after that. We started to hear rumors that the DNR was going to come in and try and cull a massive amount of deer, and so we tried to do some digging into that, and that led us to the RESD, where we're at today. And the reason we're here is because the RESD has given the DNR and the USDA permission to set up on a 90-acre nature preserve in our neighborhood, and that is for the purpose of killing deer for sampling for CWD.
A majority of the meeting was dedicated to educating those on hand all about CWD. And although the information was well received, most people really wanted to know two things: why the DNR planned on using sharpshooters, and also an explanation for why they were using bait in an area with CWD.
What the DNR has done is they've set up a kill site on the nature preserve. There's a tripod feeder with corn in it that dispenses corn daily. So they are baiting for the intended purpose of surveying the population, in their words, for 2 weeks, and then they'll begin the cull based on those population numbers they get from their camera. To my knowledge, that has not taken place yet. So for 26 days, that feeder has been in place, dispensing corn on the ground in a known CWD positive area, potentially creating a concentration of the prions, which could lead to future problems for healthy deer in the area. If they're going to spread the information to everyone in the state that baiting is done because it spreads disease, then how can they turn around the very next day and set up a tripod feeder on this nature area? It's pretty hypocritical in my opinion. As a landowner and a hunter, I have a huge problem with the fact that they're bringing in sharpshooters versus using, in Michigan we have 490,000 licensed hunters. There's no way that a handful of sharpshooters is going to do more damage or a better job of controlling the herd than those 490,000 people. And where I think the DNR falls short on this is when they go about it in secret to begin with, they immediately get backlash and they alienate landowners and hunters. And what I want to try and do today is suggest a way that we can work together with the DNR so that they can get as many heads as they need to further sample for the disease, but keep the weapons and the control in the hunter's hands. There's no need to go in and cull 100 deer right off the bat. That makes absolutely no sense. It's been proven wrong in several states, especially Wisconsin, and the disease continues to spread, continues to increase even in those areas.
Towards the end of the meeting, the DNR did answer a few questions, including the reason why they chose to bait in this area, and also an explanation for why they chose to use sharpshooters instead of hunters.
I can see why people view that, because we just banned baiting and feeding in the Lower Peninsula, and that seems counterproductive. The difference is this is not hunting, this is not sport, this is removal. So when guys go out to remove deer, there's no sport in it. It's to remove deer, and it's to remove as many deer that are coming into that bait site until it really becomes inefficient anymore. These guys are trying to come in. If 3 deer come in, they're shooting all 3 of them, and they're trying to remove those animals. And we've done the same thing again in Meridian Township in Ingham County. We've used bait to bring those deer in and remove them efficiently and effectively. And as the data shows, we've not seen evidence of any sort of spread of the disease, even though we say that there's a likelihood of that happening on a landscape level, broad scale. And that's because these deer are being efficiently removed.
What I want to do is, as hunters, especially in Northwest Gratiot, and I say that because that's, I guess, where I'm from and where I hunt, is we need to try and get as close to 100% testing as is reasonable or practical. I propose that the deer submitted for testing be killed by licensed hunters during normal deer seasons. I don't think we need special seasons in February and March. I don't think we need sharpshooters. But there again, I realize this is a two-way street, and as part of this, hunters need to maintain an open line of communication with the Michigan DNR. We are in the field, you know, way more days than just hunting season. We see these deer on an everyday basis. If we see a sick deer, we can communicate it, stuff like that. The DNR just doesn't have the resources that 100 people in that area do. We need to work with them as well. This isn't just, you know, this has to be a give and take. And as part of that, I would ask that the DNR stop the use of USDA and MDNR sharpshooters, because any use of sharpshooters or non-licensed hunters to harvest deer is going to seriously diminish trust and future cooperation with the DNR going forward.
Collaboration between the DNR and hunters is vital to the future of deer hunting here in Michigan, and at this time it feels like both sides need a little work in that area. Special thanks to Matt for inviting me to the meeting and for providing some insight on what's going on in Gratiot County.
Well, from time to time here in the television show, we love to sit down with Michigan manufacturers. There are a lot of them that are making products to help our time in the field or on the water a little bit better. In our next segment, we're going to sit down with the folks from Chene Anchor and learn a little bit more about this Michigan-made product. Some high-tech fishing boats have great electronic anchor systems, but for many folks that is not the case, and a more traditional anchor is needed for a good day on the water. Well, a company here in Michigan has just maybe perfected a way to anchor you and your boat.
Mr. Chene came up with some very unique ideas with respect to how he thought a fluke-style anchor should work. He did two simple things to it, hence the better mousetrap, and it turned out to be a godsend. We have done very, very well with it. We're well received in the fishing world, the anglers in particular, and our newer market right now happens to be the pontoons. But all of a sudden, kayaks come along. Now, I've known kayaks for approximately 15 years, so our kayak anchor is now catching on, and we're doing quite well with it. Basically, what Mr. Chene came up with is pretty unique. We like to think of our anchor having a couple of different, attributes that differentiates it in most fluke anchors or Danforths. First of all, the fluke angle worked out really good. He changed that to about 45 degrees, so it's going to bite a little bit faster and we're going to use less line. The most ingenious thing, though, is the retrievability part of it, and that is this little bend in the shank. If you're familiar with Danforth and or any other standard fluke anchor, this shank area is typically very, very flat, and the ring itself does not move much, and you usually have to hang a chain on it. Well, this will not work with a chain. So from a value standpoint, this little bend and the weight and the engineering really was a cutting edge for the anchor business.
The thing that really seemed different to me was just how the technology of this simple device makes retrieval so much easier.
And now I'm stuck in simulating that I'm in a bottom or whatever. That little bend in the shank allows me to pull it straight up and it comes up clean. If you've ever had a Danforth anchor or another slip ring anchor, I don't want to pick on Danforth, when I throw it in and I get locked in, I have to go forward that far to pull it out. This, you simply, wherever you drop it, you can drop it upside down, inside out, it does not care, it'll set itself, and it bites. Boom, it pulls up clean. It's really, I think his phrase was, it's a better mousetrap.
One thing I know is this: we as Michiganders have some great outdoor companies here in our state. So many give folks all around the country something to help them in the woods or on the water. For more info on Chene Anchors, check out the credits of our show. Thanks to Chip for showing us around this Michigan-made company.
Thanks for joining us this week for Michigan Out of Doors. Make sure you come back and join us in the upcoming weeks. We've got a lot of excitement in store for you this winter. We have some more ice fishing action, some taxidermy tips, some predator hunting, and a couple of stories from the UP as well. If you'd like to know where we are and where we're headed next, you can always check us out online.
Well, that's right, Jenny. Online is a great way to kind of keep tabs on us. Of course, our website is MichiganOutofDoorsTV.com. We have full episodes of the show there every week. We're also on most of the social media sites if you want to take a look at us there. And if you're looking for something fun to do, if you're watching this Thursday night, a week from tonight on February the 28th is Big Buck Night East. That is always a lot of fun. Our friends at Vanguard are helping us put that on this year. And if you want to hear some tall tales and see some huge deer, come on down to Novi and take part. We start taping at 7 o'clock. Lots of good stuff coming over the next several weeks. If we don't see you in the woods or on the water, hopefully we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or greenstonefcs.com. By Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises of Munising, exploring Lake Superior's Pictured Rocks National Lakeshore. With its sandstone cliffs, caves, waterfalls, and lighthouses, Pictured Rocks Boat Cruises on the web at picturedrocks.com. By Showspan, producing consumer shows including Outdoorama February 28th through March 3rd at Novi's Suburban Showplace. The show features tackle, trips, boats, outfitters, wildlife encounters, and of course, Big Buck Night. That's Outdoorama in Novi, February 28th through March 3rd.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above.